Hey everyone, Rick here, and it is Kickstarter Rewards Arrival Season, Part 3 now. Now this is Sword and Sorcery. You've probably heard all about this fantasy board game with great miniatures. It was on Kickstarter from Ares Games. The fine folks who've done War of the Ring, as well as Galaxy Defenders, as well as several other things, including the beautiful Sails of Glory miniatures game, which I think is also fantastic. But anyway, this is Sword and Sorcery. This is the fantasy take on the Galaxy Defenders engine. So when I heard about that, fantastic enough, but then of course you go Kickstarter with it, and that means exclusives. So let's take a look. I don't know where in the pack I was when it comes to what order I received my pledge level in. It almost feels like I'm probably around middle of the pack, so definitely not one of the early ones by far. There are already so many videos about this out there, which, you know, it's a good thing I don't monetize my videos, otherwise it would be fairly disappointing, but be that as it may, it's here now, and I could not be happier. This is a decent-sized box right here, right? And what is it? This is not even the main game. This is the expansion, Visterius's Lair. And I promise we will get into all of the boxes that are inside here. There's 3. There's that one. There is this one, which is a pretty heavy box. And I'm going to assume, because I have not watched any of the other Kickstarter unboxing videos, but I'm going to assume this is probably the stretch goal box, or, you know, maybe some of the Kickstarter exclusives are in there as well. Now this is, good grief, this is a big box. And this is the game itself. So let's see if we can get this out of here and take a peek at Sword and Sorcery. So this is a pretty thick box, as you can see. It is just a beautiful cover art. I mean, the art for this game since day one has looked absolutely fantastic. And there's definitely, I mean, when you're talking Kickstarter projects, these were like, what, a year or a year and a half ago? So with games that long ago, man, I don't even remember what it's all supposed to be in here. And I didn't even realize that the base box would actually have Kickstarter edition right there. So apparently there is some Kickstarter stuff in this box, maybe, or maybe it just says that on the box. I have no idea. But anyway, yeah, that's a pretty thick box. It is a good looking box, but let's find out if the contents are as good looking as the box. So first of all, we have this really pretty nice plastic insert where it looks like all of the base game miniatures are stored, and they are all in plastic baggies. Some are grouped together, some are individual. This guy has no plastic baggie, but he is pretty darn cool looking. Some kind of hellish demon with a whip. If I can put that actually in front of the camera. That is one sweet fig. Holy cow. The level of detail on this guy is truly impressive. Fantastic. So that is awesome. I'm sure he's, you know, the big bad guy. And then this game boasted that, you know, in a lot of these fantasy games you have miniatures for the various minions and things. But this game boasted that it wouldn't just be single pose minions. it would actually be a variety of poses for each of the bad guys. So not just bosses have their own unique figures, but the minions themselves. Now I'm not entirely sure, you know, who's a minion here and who's not, but nevertheless, here's another pretty cool looking figure. But yeah, the level of detail on these Ares figures, right down to the little teeny tiny sharp horns on this guy's ensemble, is pretty darn good. So as you can see, and these guys right here look really cool. Especially this one. Man, that is a really cool figure. That shows you how well I paid attention to the actual campaign, because I have no clue who this guy is. Swirling, flowing cape, staff, and he just looks badass, doesn't he? Or she. I think it's a he, though. These compartments are also all numbered, I think, because there's 6, 7, 8, 12, 13, 14, 11, 10. So it starts at 6, apparently. I don't know where the rest of those compartments are. But here we go. Man, there's a bunch of rule books here. Here is the main rule book, Sword and Sorcery. This is a thick book. Someone on the Board Game Geek forums just commented, oh, I love full color. Gosh, look at that. It's just gorgeous. They said, well, this was supposed to be the streamlined version of Galaxy Defenders. And they said, well, look at that rule book. Where is the streamlined? And someone said, well, yes, the rule book can definitely look intimidating, but once you're actually playing the game, apparently a lot of it is intuitive, though I've been hearing there are definitely some rules you will overlook as you're playing the game, so it's probably good to get some kind of quick start guide or something. Now this is the Book of Secrets. I'm going to flip through this right now, so if you don't want to see anything in the Book of Secrets, skip ahead or something, because here we go. I'm opening it right now. Who even knows what's in here? And if you don't even know the game, you probably have no clue what any of this means, like me. Right now, I have no idea. There's no pictures at all in here. Well, there's some, but it's mostly just a lot of text. So who knows? And then we have the storybook. Same thing, if you don't want spoilers, look away, because we are looking at the storybook now. So there's maps, full color art, setups for, I assume, the different scenarios, obviously rules to go along with all that. And what is this? Wow, that is a lot of components. So this is really nice. That is really cool. This is the Sword and Sorcery Kickstarter edition components. So all of that should be what I have here now. And then it also has the optional buys. So if you were part of the Kickstarter and got some of these optional buys, which I did, I should have everything basically, then that is the additional components. This looks like kind of a reference sheet. It has your game sequence rules, order of operations kind of thing, and then different effects and icons and tokens, like kind of a manifest of what all that kind of stuff does. So that's handy to have. And then this, oh my gosh, there's the rest of the trays. Man, so there's even way more miniatures than just on that top tray, and I thought that this was a lot of figures, but hey, what do I know? Here is the cool card holder that they came up with. So when you have all the various decks of cards, you assemble this bad boy And you'll be able to keep all those cards nicely in here. And look at all those counters. Let's find out what kind of counters we have, shall we? Because, man, this is a lot of counters. And I mean, there's a lot of counter sheets here for sure, but the other thing is they're thick. These are some thick counter sheets. So here's this whole thing. Assemble that and it becomes like a card corral. I wonder if that's trademarked. Here is, oh my gosh, the art on these map tiles is magnificent, and they just punch out without any effort at all, just the way you want it, because sometimes when you're dealing with counter sheets, they can punch out okay, except for like one edge, and that one edge kind of sticks to the sprue and maybe tears a little, or tears the sprue, hopefully, but not the map part. But that happens, especially when you are in a hurry or a rush to get this thing to the table as fast as inhumanly possible. And so, yeah, there's just a lot of really good looking art on these tiles. Look at all that kind of gritty detail. Man, that looks fantastic. So there's that sheet. There's this sheet. And this is all double-sided. Oh my gosh, that is so beautiful. Here's more. And more. And more. Place your bets. How many more sheets do you think there are at this point? Can you see on an edge how many more? Look at all these tokens. Good gosh. Are you kidding me? Man, I'm going to need a lot of Ziploc baggies or something. Again, more double-sided. Oh yes, there's more. More. That's a big map tile there. Here's some dials. Look at all those. Oh my gosh. Look at all those crazy numbers on those tiles. They look like ants crawling all over that dial. Jeez. I can't wait to find out what the heck that does. But there's more. This was the final one. Lots of tokens. Good grief. Here is a really nice little, I assume, dice bag, and that has a shiny silver done on it. And more miniatures. Man, who else do we have in here? I don't know any of these poor guys' names. There's like little, I don't know what the heck that is, a hobgoblin. Is this focusing? I have no clue. It's probably focusing on my fingers. But anyway, even down to the basic minions, they all look fantastic. Look at this guy. Some kind of orc shaman or something. And this guy just looks brutal. People are going to have a field day painting these. And I've already seen, you know, you can join various board game groups on Facebook, and I'm a part of one where they just do some amazing painting. But anyway, there's those figures. There's a whole bunch more figures here. There are some plastic standees for something, and also the dial bits to keep the dials together. These dice are gorgeous, and they look just like, almost just, they look like candy, first of all. They have kind of a half translucent, half marble kind of look, and they look like the Galaxy Defenders dice. The icons are different, of course, but they're the same colors, and that just looks great. I love the look of those dice. Love, what are these? 10-sided? Yeah, 10-sided dice. Love 10-sided dice. My favorite die is a 12-sided die. Highly underused die, the good old 12-sided die. And then there's these cards. What even are these? Enemy Scrolls. Oh, yes. These are almost tarot-sized cards. I wonder if the Fantasy Flight Tarot size sleeves will fit these. But these are enemy scrolls, so there you have the stats, kind of the AI, I think, in many cases, for these enemies, what they do and their routine. And then, this is a whole big pack of something. Let's cut this open and find out what this is. Being relatively careful not to damage the cardboard. Come on. Here we go. I think these are your character cards. Oh, these look really sweet. Wow. There are just tons and tons of these. And they punch out so that they're different shapes. And there's different forms of the figures on the back versus the front. Just a little coloring difference, I think, for the most part. But those have their own special place in the insert. And then there's these. These look like gigantic boss monster enemy scrolls. And then there's these, which are not cardboard. They're like card stock versions of the hero cards. So I'm not sure what the difference is there. Look at all these cards. Man, I'm going to need to go to the store and get some more of the small sleeves. Because look at all these cards. And they are all the small sleeved kind. And so, oh man, you might run into a spine critter. Wouldn't that be absolutely frightening? Or a death dealer. Oh, so scary. But yes, of course, this is fantastic. This is Sword and Sorcery. I've been waiting so long. I can't even remember how long it's been since that Kickstarter ended. But man, isn't it funny? I backed all these Kickstarters. I don't think that close together, but these are all showing up within like a week of each other. I just literally got Widower's Wood in the mail, like, how long ago? 3 days ago or 4 days ago? So that was the core set. Before we move to this, let's take a look at whatever's in this box. This is a heavy box. Man, look at all the stuff in here. Holy cow. So, essentially, gobs and gobs more figures. Just bags and bags of more figures in various colors, and their creature cards and creature scrolls. How many bags of dice did I get? I got tons more dice. I have no clue what this is. Why did I get so many dice? Not that I'm complaining, of course. Here's a bunch more heroes, so the gray figures must be heroes. Because these heroes are in with the hero cards in this pack. Man, that is really cool. Here is another dice bag. I'm going to need it from all those dice. And this I love. Dungeon accessories. Looks like a lot of doors and treasure chests. So that kind of adds a 3D element to everything. Here are some more counters, some more dials, some more cards, and it looks like even another hero. Oh, man! I almost forgot about these guys. Metal coins. Let me open these up a bit better. So they come in 3 denominations, apparently. So you can hear that. That is fantastic. Love when they do metal coins. And then, in addition to all that stuff, are these. I think these are what, alternate heroes? They're called enhanced heroes. Enhanced hero set. So that's one of each hero, but in a light blue, kind of like a ghost, apparently they're supposed to be like. So you can use them as ghost versions of the heroes, or just as the heroes themselves in a nice pastel baby sky blue shade. Man, how did they even fit all of this into this box? That's crazy. But anyway, this must have been the additional extras, because I got the Immortal Pledge, so that came with all the extra add-ons and whatnot. So that must have been that box. And then here's this expansion, and it's like, well, you know, when they offer the expansion with the Kickstarter, sometimes I do, but sometimes I don't go for that. And I figured, why not? Because I do like getting everything all at once. Now, mind you, this is actually only Wave 1 of the Sword and Sorcery Kickstarter rewards. Wave 2 ships, I think they said, in September. And that is going to have no more plastic pieces. All that is here. But it's going to have more paper and cardboard materials. Apparently there might be some other campaign books, some other cards or something that go along with a lot of this stuff. Everything to play the base game and whatnot is here, but apparently there's just still some extras. Oh man, and I thought that other figure was big. Holy cow. Yeah, we'll need to take a close-up of this. This must be who this layer is named after. It is a 5-headed dragon. Man. And these aren't just recycled heads. Each head seems to have its own character. And all the spikes on the tail. And this is, you know, it's not really a rubbery plastic. It's actually kind of a hard plastic. It has some give to it though. But this is the kind of figure that you don't want to like drop on a table. Some of the figures you can throw across the room. I don't recommend it, but for example, Widower's Wood, those kind of figures seem to be resilient against anything, whereas these might break off some of their sharper, more delicate points of contact because of how hard the plastic is. But that is so cool. Man. I don't think there's anything under this tray. I think this is it. Yes. But there are other figures in here. What are these guys? These guys all look similar, though again, as they said, these minions are different poses. So for example, I think all of these guys are the same stat line. So they're going to have the same cards. These two guys are almost, I almost said they were the same pose. Almost the same pose. You'll notice this guy has something in his hand, whereas this guy does not. And it's not that something's just missing out of his hand, I don't think. I think he literally does not have anything, because I don't think this thing could come out anyway. So, but there's obviously, you know, even greater distinction between some of these guys. Like, I think there's really just a couple of poses here. Like, here's the guy with the sword and empty hand again, and then here is this dual blade wielding guy, and he also has a different looking head. So it's neat that these kind of run-of-the-mill bad guys, yeah, some of these other guys don't have things in their hands either. So technically, because I was going to say, Unless there's something else slightly different about them, I think these two are the only two exact same ones. Because they have nothing in their hands, and they have the same weapon. It looks like the same everything else. Otherwise, all 5 of these guys are the same, but there's, you know, what, 4 different poses or so between them. But that is that. Apart from, of course, the cardboard components, which I fanned out earlier. So, that is Sword and Sorcery Kickstarter rewards. There's more coming, folks. 7th Continent, Fleet Commander, Folklore the Affliction. I just backed the Heroes of Land, Air, and Sea Kickstarter that ended a week or 2 ago, but that won't be for a long time. But those others are going to be showing up within the next few months. It is going to be truly exciting. But for now, this has been the Kickstarter unboxing of Sword and Sorcery. So as always, thank you all so much for watching, and until next time.